Alright, my apologies that we missed a video last week, but we ended up going fishing. It was really windy, snowed on us, everything, didn't catch a single fish. So, happens sometimes, ain't much we can do about it. But, this week, we are going to weld some flanges to my axle and see if we can get this thing moving. It's not going to be drivable yet because I do not have brakes, but might be able to get the wheels to spin, get the axle hooked up and everything. So I have these flanges that I have to cut off right here, cut everything off there, and we're going to need to weld that to that. And also, I lied to you guys in a past video, I also have to weld my sprocket. I said I welded that already, but I didn't. So hard part is I'm going to have to make sure everything's straight. Make sure this is square, make sure this is square. I have a hole saw here, and what I'm going to do with that is after I cut this off, we're going to hole saw into it because this is about just the perfect size for that. And we're going to indent it a little bit, if not drill all the way through and inset that axle on there so we have somewhere to weld around. I don't know how a bunch of this stuff works, but I'm hoping this welds fine because I'm sure this is just zinc coated. But we'll find out when I go to weld it. I welded on some of it earlier and it seemed to hold, but I guess let's get into welding that sprocket and then we'll start chopping up my expensive flanges. I've only done one thing so far, and I've messed up a total of 2 times. So, first time when I cut this up, I cut it too close, then the hole was too big. So then I did this one right, so that I could hole saw it. So that was the first mistake, was cutting that one too close. Then the second mistake was, I measured wrong, and this is a 3/8 hole. It fits over, but it's loose. So, I'm gonna have to weld a backing plate on this. It sits over, I'll just tack it on, then we'll flip it over, fill this with some weld, and then we'll get that filled in enough, and then we'll make a center point on this back one, and we will drill straight through it and make an 1.25 inch hole, because that's what this one started out as, was an 1.25 inch, and it's very, very close to fitting. I like how it's gonna fit. We're gonna hammer that on there, so I believe that one's all good, and yeah, so now we just gotta try to fix this one that I messed up. Hopefully it's an easy fix. We will find out once we do it. And I'll hope when I weld it that the metal isn't too hard for me to drill through. So, yeah. Messed up 2 times already, and we're not even like 2 minutes into the video. So, I've been at this for 4 hours already. But the magic of YouTube is you guys don't have to watch all the stuff that you don't want to. So. Well, after smashing my fingers time and time again and scraping away metal little by little for the past 5 hours, we have our flanges on. They are not welded, they're just hammered on right now, because if I have to take them off and if this one doesn't work, because it's the one I welded and tried to drill and everything, if that doesn't work, I want to be able to get it off and be able to replace it right now before welding everything and messing up the whole shaft and having to start over. So we're going to put this in how it is, and we're going to get it all bolted down with the pillow blocks so that it sits where it needs to and I can spin it. And also, since I haven't welded these yet while I'm spinning it, if it's got a wobble in it, I can hammer out some spots and get it running straight so that we don't have a problem there. But yeah, I'm gonna have to go get some bolts for these pillow blocks, but then we'll get that set up in there, and we'll see if I can find my master link for my chain, and we'll make this easy if I can find that master link, and we'll be able to start the engine, put it in first gear and let it spin, and I can just watch everything and make sure it's centered so that something isn't unbalanced or anything when we go to actually drive this thing later down the road. we got everything right down here situated. Everything seems to spin relatively straight. I do have some kinks to work out, just like on back and forth wobble, but it's bolted in with 2 bolts because I got 2 instead of 4 because I only measured 1 pillow block, and then I also got them where they were 2 inches long and then lost a nut. So we're just gonna start fresh and go get more bolts and nuts later on. I could put my CV axles in right now and see where they need to be, but I need to finish my control arms because I think that'll have something to do with my measurements, because this one, they shake, so I have to go get some more piping to be able to do that. So not gonna be able to do that this weekend because they're not open till Monday. So next thing is I got these pillow blocks for my steering down here because everything's angled how it needs to be. The only problem is we're all over the place, so that's gonna sit right about there. Hopefully we'll see how that works, but I do have to kind of shave down that pipe that's attached to the steering because it doesn't quite fit in that pillow block because that's 1-inch pipe and it's a 1-inch pillow block. Got some jimmy rigging to do, but after that we'll put a little beam across the top to be able to hold that pillow block. We'll probably run from here to here. Might have to put a little bend in it. We'll see, but it's gonna have to be crooked and hopefully it'll sit under where my little cover's gonna go once I decide to cover this thing in aluminum. So we got majority of everything that I wanted to get done this weekend, as in my axle. Everything looks good on that thing. I didn't have a master link to put on the chain to be able to run it and do everything I wanted to, so we just spun it by hand to kind of see if everything was straight and everything seemed good there. And also my steering. Got that welded up. We might have to reinforce this because there might be some tension on this, but everything's looking good. Everything's gonna be welded completely too on that, but it's just holding it for now. And tested everything. Everything's all good. We got a lot of angle going on this thing, so I could say we're getting a lot closer to driving this thing. I need to get a brake caliper for it, and honestly it'll be drivable. It's not safe that way because nothing's welded, but once we get a caliper, maybe we can go run it around the block real quick after I weld everything a little more. But hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we'll catch you guys next week.